I'm awkward today. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for the first video of 2020. I think I'm too close to my mic. This video is going to be a little bit of an update, hopefully nothing too long, and also a little bit of a discussion, I think, if I can get my words out properly. Technically my first day back in my studio, back at work, although I'm taking it quite slow because I do still feel quite burnt out. If you saw my previous video when I was in the midst of my burnout, for the last 2.5 months of the year, I was working 100-hour weeks. I did nothing but work, so I felt very, very burnt out. And I guess I'm kind of easing into this year because of that, and just enjoying the fact that I don't have any pressing deadlines at this time. So I thought, what better time to start making videos? Why is there someone at the door? I'm not gonna answer. Here come my doggies. Do you want to set yourself up on your bed so you're not just like snuffling around my feet whilst I'm trying to film? On your beds. I'm talking about going on your bed. I did take somewhat of a break. We had a lovely mini break in Pembrokeshire, in Wales. That was amazing. We just stayed in a little cottage for New Year and went on lots of lovely coastal walks. Put that toot down, Quentin. You're not licking yourself now. It's distracting. He's like, hmm? I've just had a weekend back in my house, and I meant to film over the weekend, but I still was very much in hibernation mode. I kind of still am. But I wanted to make a video because I have lots of things on my mind. I wanted to make my channel a place to share things like that. In case you hadn't noticed, I've kind of changed a lot in the past year, I would say. I would say that 2019 is the year that I woke up and I stopped having this sense of optimism that the leaders would have the climate crisis under control in some small way. I would say that Extinction Rebellion is responsible for waking me up, because I saw the news reports of everyone taking to the streets and I was like, what are these people doing? Like, where are they getting their motivation? Why are they saying all these things like climate crisis and emergency? Like, I don't really feel that. I definitely had my head in the sand for far too long. And yeah, the more I've been reading, and I've been reading a lot, the more I believe that this is the most important issue of our time, and I want to contribute to fighting the good fight, basically. And yeah, I've been a member of XR for about 6 months now, and it's teaching me a lot. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some things that have been on my mind, and actually I've seen a lot of other activists and creators talk about this, so I wanted to make a whole video about it, and that is the focus on individual responsibility when it comes to the climate crisis. And it's something that's been going on for many, many years. It's how I first got interested in the environment. Through veganism, I learned that our diet has a huge impact on the planet. Many years now I've been very happy and taken a lot of satisfaction from reducing my own carbon footprint, not buying new clothes. I haven't bought new clothes in about a year, not buying new furniture, been vegan for 4 years. Most recently I've decided to stop flying, and for a long time I've seen that as like the most powerful thing that an individual can do. And I think we're taught to think like that. We are encouraged to look at our own actions before anything else, and in some ways that's good, because we do need to take responsibility for the emissions that we personally create, and we do need to understand that our carbon footprints compared to the carbon footprints of those in the global south, for example, are way, way beyond. And that is because we live a more luxurious and excessive, in a lot of cases, lifestyle, and we do have more luxuries in our lives that we expect now. We do expect to be able to travel the world, and we do expect to have a new outfit for every holiday and all of that kind of stuff, which is so abnormal to the majority of the world's population. But that is not what I want to focus on in this video. What I want to say is that the more I've learned about the systems that are at play, the systems that have caused this crisis, the more I realise how insignificant it is to focus solely on individual responsibility. And really where our power lies is in organising ourselves into something bigger and more powerful. That's really what direct action has taught me in 2019. It's that we are stronger together, and it's made me think maybe there is a reason why big business want us to focus on individual change rather than notice what they are doing to the planet. It's a well-known statistic that there are 100 companies that are responsible for 71% of emissions, and yet we as individuals are made to feel guilty for what we personally emit in our day-to-day lives. Just today, actually, I saw a tweet suggesting that our Netflix subscriptions are producing lots of emissions and are responsible for the climate crisis in some way. And that is just ridiculous, isn't it? We aren't allowed to sit in our home and watch a movie without feeling guilty about it. How about we look at the 1%? How about we look at actors who fly around the world, billionaires who have private jets? I feel like we are being unnecessarily penalised and the pressure is being unnecessarily put on our shoulders. Yes, there are a few things that we can change, but I want to be very quick to say that my overarching belief and goal, aside from doing the best I can personally, is to understand and explore and learn more about system change, because that's absolutely what we need. I don't know if you've noticed how difficult it is to be sustainable and to live a low-waste lifestyle. It is really difficult. Everything comes wrapped in plastic. Public transport is awful, especially where I live. I live very rurally and the buses are always late. There's hardly any of them. They're always being cut. The trains are really expensive, and yet the responsibility is on us when very clearly we need system change. We need to live in a world where it's easier to make the better choices and not harder. The thing that set me off on this journey of learning about the propaganda of personal responsibility in terms of the climate crisis was seeing a tweet. It's kind of gone viral now because it's just so ridiculous, but it was BP, British Petroleum. They set up a carbon footprint calculator so you can calculate your own carbon footprint. Isn't that just the epitome of the times we're living in? On a list of the companies who've produced the most greenhouse gas emissions since I was born in 1988, they are number 11 on that list. They are one of the worst polluters on the planet, and they want us as individuals to feel guilty about our carbon footprints. I've had enough. I will not stand for it anymore. And that's the tea. And also I noticed Coca-Cola, on their plastic lids now, they have a little plea, which is, please recycle me. When I saw that, I just completely rolled my eyes, because for the second year in a row, they've been voted the world's biggest plastic polluters, and they're wanting us to make sure they recycle their products. Don't you think they've got the power to change how their products are made, to stop exploiting communities in the global south, stealing all of their water, making them go through drought so that they can profit off water and sell it for 2,000 times the price of tap water? They're the biggest polluters of plastic in the world. They have so much money and so much power. They could change things from the top down if they wanted to. It angers me so much. And yes, we can boycott products like that, but also we've got to be realistic. Corporations at the top would rather keep raking in money and increasing their wealth than tackling the climate crisis. They would rather the consumer be riddled with guilt than tackle the climate crisis. It all stems from the fact we live in a capitalist system currently, where we are supposed to be consumers first and foremost, and to be a consumer you have to be individualistic. You have to focus on your own actions and not think about the bigger picture, and more than that, not feel like you have any power or say over the bigger picture. I really don't feel like we should be pointing the finger at each other, at ordinary people who really do care about this crisis and are trying their best. I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot if we do that, and we're playing into what the capitalists would like us to be, which is individuals who are powerless and who find their power and find their happiness in accumulating goods and status symbols and things like that, rather than realising maybe we have power working together. Maybe there is a possibility of collective action. If we stopped thinking so much about our own individual actions, beyond doing things that have a massive impact, like eating a plant-based diet, supporting fast fashion, reducing your flights, that kind of thing. Beyond that, don't worry about buying bananas wrapped in plastic because that's the only thing that there is. Don't let it drain you as much as we're being told to let it drain us. That is my my plea of 2020, because we are in an absolute crisis, and you look around the world and you see the leaders and you see the complete inaction, the complete disregard for the science, and it's very, very alarming. World leaders are more interested in protecting wealth and assets and big corporations rather than protecting their people. But I really do believe that we have power, and I really do believe that in 2019 we showed that by taking to the streets and protesting. Fridays for Future movement was very inspiring, and XR have shown a lot of bravery, and I think we could continue that into 2020. I think we could really understand the power of working together and fighting for system change. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. I'm not sure how articulate I was then, because I've just been reading a lot and I haven't been speaking very much, and I'm not the best at being articulate. I hope to be better at it, but I feel like the only way I can get better at this kind of thing is by talking about it more. So I will try to keep talking about things like this that are on my mind, and making art as well about these kind of things. My thoughts are with Australia at this time. I know I have a lot of Australians who watch my videos, and I talk to a lot of you online, and it's just been completely heartbreaking to see what's happening, and to see Scott Morrison doing absolutely nothing and being very disrespectful and just an awful person. I just can't imagine how stressful it must be. It's stressful for me, and I'm halfway around the world just witnessing what's happening. So I really hope that everyone is taking care of themselves. I'm going to leave some links to places you can donate to below, and yeah, I will see you again very soon for more content. Thanks for listening, and Happy New Year. Bye.